The Constitution is a supreme law that has fundamental set of rules determining how a country or a state governed.
September 1972, Marcos declared martial law, claiming that it was the last defense against the rising disorder caused by increasingly violent student demonstrations.
Magandang umaga. Ano po ang inyong pangalan?
Ako po si Cesar.
Pwede ko po bang may tanong, ano po ang mga naranasan niyo during po sa pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.?
Maganda kasi sa panahon ni Marcos, nakatulong ang mga programang pang-edukasyon at pang-kabuhay sa mga tao, sa maraming Pilipino at nakinabang sa mga proyekto tulad ng mas maraming kalsada, mas maraming lungsod.
Magandang umaga. Ano po ang inyong pangalan?
Magandang umaga din po. Ako po si Matthew.
Pwede ko po bumaintang ano po ang mga naranasan niyo during sa pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.?
Ang aking mga naging karanasan, isa na dito ang kanyang pang-aabuso sa kanyang kapangyarihan at nagdulot ito ng takot at trahedya.
Naging okay po ba ang pamumuno niya during that time? Kung oo po, ano po ang mga nagawa niya? At kung hindi, bakit po?
Para sa akin hindi, sapagkat napakahirap ng buhay noon at dahil sa kanyang pang-aabuso sa kanyang kapangyarihan.
Magandang tanghali. Ano po ang inyong pangalan?
Veronica po.
Pwede ko po bang itanong, ano po ang mga naranasan niyo during po ng pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.?
Yung mga panahon na yan, sobrang hirap talaga gumalaw at kumilos. Lalo na ng mga kasama ko sa bahay, mga magulang at kapatid ko. Halos hindi kami makakilos sa bahay. O parang nagiging bilanggo kami sa sarili naming bahay.
Para sa inyo po ba, naging okay po ba ang pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.? Kung oo po, ano po ang kanyang mga nagawa para na makakatulong po para sa inyo? At kung hindi po ba?
Ang sagot ko ay hindi. Dahil masyado niya pong inano yung power niya bilang president, madami po siyang pinatay at naging sakin po siya pa sa sarili niyang bansa.
Magandang tanghali. Ano po ang inyong pangalan?
Magandang tanghali po, ako po si Abdul.
Pwede ko po bang may tanong, ano po ang mga naranasan niyo during po lang pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.?
Anong araw po nung napakahirap po ng mga Pilipino, lalo na kapag mamamayan natin, na halos lahat po, hirap na po lumabas at wala na pong makain.
Para sa inyo po, naging okay po ba ang pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr.? Kung oo po, ano po ang mga nagawa niya para makatulong sa inyo? At kung hindi, bakit po?
Hindi, dahil unang-una pa lang, sa araw nga ng martial law, madaming nasugatan, madaming nasawi ang buhay, at madaming mga Pilipino na wala ng trabaho ng dahil sa kanya. Tsaka sa araw na ito yun, halos lahat ng Pilipino wala ng pera, wala ng gastos, wala ng makain, at madami na rin iba nakatira na lang sa lansangan ng Maynila, tapos yung iba nakapalaboy na lang, at OT na lang din ang magsasaka natin mga Pilipino.
Maraming salamat po. What is Constitution?
A constitution is a set of fundamental principles, rules, and laws that outline how a country, organization, or group is governed. It establishes the framework for government operations, defines the powers and responsibilities of its branches like the executive, legislative, and judiciary, and sets out the rights and duties of its citizens or members. The 1987 Constitution of the Philippines is the set of rules for running the country. It was made after the end of martial law and the removal of President Marcos Sr. during the People Power Revolution in 1986. Ano ba meron sa 1987 nung martial law sa Pilipinas? Before it all happened, President Corazon Aquino's government had three options regarding the Constitution. A. Revert to the 1935 Constitution. B. Retain the 1973 Constitution and be granted the power to make reforms. And C. Start anew and break from the vestige of disgraced dictatorship.
In March 1986, President Aquino proclaimed a transitional constitution to last for a year, while Constitutional Commission drafted a permanent constitution. This transitional constitution, called the Freedom Constitution, maintained many provisions of the old one, including a new written form for the presidential right to rule by decree. In 1986, a constitutional convention was created, composed of 48 members appointed by President Aquino from varied backgrounds and presentations. The convention drew up a permanent constitution, largely restoring the setup abolished by Marcos Sr. in 1972, but with new ways to keep the president in check, a reaction to the experience of Marcos Sr.'s rules. The new constitution was officially adopted on February 2, 1897. The Constitution begins with a preamble and 18 self-contained articles. It established the Philippines as the democratic republican state, where sovereignty resides in the people and all government authorities emanates from them. It allocates governmental power among the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of the government. Three governmental branches under the 1987 Constitution during martial law: legislative, executive, judicial. The executive branch is headed by the president and his cabinet, whom he appoints. The president is the head of the state and the chief executive, but his power is limited by significant check from the two co-equal branches of government, especially during times of emergency. In case of national emergency, the president may still declare martial law, but not longer than a period of 60 days. Congress, through a majority vote, can revoke this decision or extend it for a period that they determine. The Supreme Court may also review the declaration of martial law and decide if there are sufficient justifying facts for the act. The president and the vice presidents are elected at large direct votes serving a single 6-year term.
The legislative power resides in a Congress divided into two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives.
The 24 senators are elected at large by popular vote and can serve no more than two consecutive 6-year terms. The House is composed of district representatives presenting a particular geographic area and makes up around 80% of the total number of representatives. There are 234 legislative districts in the Philippines that elect their representatives to serve a 3-year term. The 1987 Constitution created a party list system to provide spaces for the participation of underrepresented community sectors or groups. Party list representatives may fill up not more than 20% of the seats in the House. Aside from the exclusive power of legislation, Congress may also declare war through a two-thirds vote in both upper and lower houses. The power of legislation, however, is also subject to an executive check as the president retains the power of veto or stop a bill from becoming a law. Congress may only override this power with a two-thirds vote in both houses. The Philippine court system is vested with the power of the judiciary and is composed of a Supreme Court and lower court as vested by the law. The Supreme Court is made of 15 members called justices, and they are appointed by the president. Congress does not need to approve their appointments. The Supreme Court hears important causes such as causes that question whether a law, treaty, or government rule follows the Constitution, cases that involve mistakes in legal decisions or problems with laws are applied, cases with very serious penalties. The Supreme Court can handle cases directly if they involve government officials or international issues. The Supreme Court supervises how the lower courts operate and ensures they follow the law properly. The Constitution also established three independent constitutional commissions, namely Civil Service Commission, a central agency in charge of government personnel, Commission on Election, mandated to enforce and administer all election law and regulations, Commission of Audit, which examines all funds, transactions, and property accounts of the government and its agencies. To further promote the ethical and lawful conduct of the government, the Office of Ombudsman was created to investigate complaints that pertain to public corruption, unlawful behavior of public officials, and to other public misconducts. Only the House of Representatives can initiate the impeachment on the high-ranking officials, such as President, members of the Supreme Court, and other constitutionally protected public officials, such as the Ombudsman. The Senate will then try the impeachment case. This is another safeguard to promote moral and ethical conduct in the government.
Some important parts of the 1987 Constitution are: first, bring back the three parts of government, executive, legislative, and judicial, to share power. Second, protecting people's rights like freedom to speak, choose a religion, and share ideas. Third is that ensure fair elections to choose leaders. Fourth is that it prevents the abuse of power. Fifth is making it harder to declare martial law without a good reason.
Magandang umaga. Kumusta po kayo at ano po inyo?
Ay, magandang araw sa iyo, Rina. Mga pala si Fernando sa iyo yun.
For your personal experience po, dahil medyo sumikat po ang inyong pangalan mo yung unang kanyang pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Ano po ang local?
Ay, tingnan natin ang pagkakailam ng kanyang pamumuno ay hindi talaga. Kasi ayun din yung huling araw na nakita ko yung anak ko. Ay, yung anak ko na yun ay napakagaling na mag-aaral pagdating sa istorya. O yung tinatawag natin araling panlipunan. Mahilig siyang umalik sa mga istorya na nangyari sa nakaraan. Eh, isang beses, pag uwi ko na galing ng trabaho, eh, yung kanyang guro ay biglang kumatok sa aming tahanan. Eh, nung mga panahon na yun nauwi ko lang din ang trabaho at ilang oras na siyang hindi umuwi. Ay, pagkakaalala ko nasa alas 7, alas 8 na ng gabi. Sinabi sa akin ng kanyang guro na siya ay dinakip sa paaralan sapagkat siya daw ay pinaghihinalaang nagpapakalat ng pribadong impormasyon pagdating sa pamahalaan noong mga kapanahonan na yun. Noong pumunta naman kami sa presinto, wala doon. Lumipas ang maraming taon. Hindi ko na ulit balita yung anak ko. So, ayun lang.
Tayo nag-alis po kayo sa trabaho.
Ayaw, ako lang yung aso
Papasok na rin po ako tayo. Nakaligoy na ako na.
Ano yung tawag mo?
Oh, dito na.
Sigurado ka?
Oo naman.
Baka mamaya, magbubulak-bulak ka.
Mayroon ka pa lang po masahe tayo.
Pero pa lang kaya magbubulak doon.
Baka bukas na.
Galingan mo sa pag-aaral ha.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ingat. Oh, ano yun? Wala pa yung anak ko ah. Okay, okay na lang ako. Ay, ako. Bata nga naman sa panahon ngayon. Sana di ko pa nakabulak-bulan yun. Wala pa rin ah.
mahirap tanggapin dahil siya ang uni kong iho ko noon. At ang aking asawa ay matagal na umana. Siya na lang talaga ay natitira akong kasama sa pamumuhay. Pero ngayon, wala na akong magagawa. Hindi ko alam kung siya ay namumuhay o matagal nang wala. Sa masamang pala, di kailangan na lang natin tanggapin ang katotohanan na siguro ngay ang anak ko ay wala na.
Ano po ba talaga kayo nakuha ang pamilya or any source na kayo na po inyong anak?
Ay, sa tanda ko ito, hindi ko na makita sapagkat sa tinagal-tagal ko rin kumakalap ng impormasyon ay wala rin binibigay sa akin ng maayos na hint o kahit anong impormasyon tungkol sa anak ko. Maski numero, hindi ko na rin makakit.
Okay po ba ang pamumuno ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. tulungan kayo dito po? Ano po ang mga nagawa niya para makatulong sa inyo? At kung hindi ba,
Ay, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, hindi na talaga. Ayun lang ho.
sige po, maraming salamat po.
Now, let's hop to our generation that is following the 1987 Philippine Constitution that gives us the three co-equal branches called legislative, executive, and judiciary that strengthens check and balance that prevents dictatorship.